back. This is the second of the teacher training lessons. And today we're going to go through the sequence of moves with Tai Chi moving for better balance that is focused not on the safety system that we did earlier, but specifically on the typical class, which will probably be made up mostly of seniors, and we need to handle that differently, okay? One of the major differences between what we'll do today and what we've done in the past is going to be, I'm going to explain what's going on not only externally, but what needs to be going on internally. And that will be different in this case. You may remember from the past that in order to become strong and stable, when you're in a situation where you're dealing with incoming forces, you didn't let the knee go past the toe. That was a critical factor. And when you put it there and then you move past the toe, suddenly you feel, oh my gosh, now I have that fragile joint instead of the bone driving into the ground, okay? But this time, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go out past that because the people that show up for classes, the seniors, very, very often, that is the weakness that they're dealing with. They become unstable, and you can watch and see the people who are really affected by this. One of the things they do is they start leaning over and checking the ground, and then when they walk, they take little steps like that, and we've all seen that happen. Well, that doesn't actually make them safer, but it definitely makes their ankles weaker. And weak ankles going in all directions will lead you into a fall very quickly, okay? Without the means to get back out when you feel it coming, okay? So, we're going to work with that. Now, in the past, I've watched teachers go through these forms, and the students try to do the same thing. And I always wonder what's going on in the mind of the student. Are they really understanding what's supposed to be happening? Okay. But I'm going to bring that right out, and we're going to explain it this time around, see how far we can get through the form, and then we'll be able to go ahead and do it just as a flowing sequence, like an ordinary class. The other problem, and I've brought this up before, is that a key moment in Tai Chi is when you get to the point where you're on perfect balance, you're relaxed, you could go in any direction, and your breathing is coordinated. You breathe out, you're ready to come in with a full breath and send the oxygen everywhere, okay? It's a critical moment. And over, I've seen this happen. Students will get pretty close to that, and then they start looking at the teacher and wondering what comes next. Okay, and they break that concentration. Well, I have a simple memory system that will, I hope, tell you what's coming next, so you can stay focused inside and not lose that moment, okay? Okay. In a class, I think an excellent way to start, and we've done this before, so I don't need to do it now. We'll do it when we simulate a whole class, but remember, the first thing I said was we need to get the trip fall reflexes as quickly as we can into the person who comes to class, because they are usually afraid of falling on the way, okay? So I won't do those now, but we went through falls to the front, remember that? We went through falls to the side, and we went through the terrifying fall over backwards. That's it's already in the video, and take a look at that. The other thing that we did that is a good way to start in a class is what I was calling the ghost hand. Pushing hands in Tai Chi typically takes place in front of a person because you're keeping them from grabbing and hitting you. But since our objective is to go around, we were going around and a hand would come out, okay? And we would back up, and then they would not, they didn't find what they were grabbing for. They would go back this way, and we would go ahead and either go past them, or on a second round, we could pull them past us, okay? And in both cases, you are doing rule number one. You're not meeting force with force. They're expecting some kind of a contact to locate you and to isolate you and stop you, and they don't get anything done. So the ghost hand is an excellent exercise and an excellent way to get around not meeting force with force, okay? The other thing that we did, and we did this last time, when it comes out, we just did that, okay? We deflected. Now, with the ghost hand, you can get back here and not trigger anything, huh? So he's all the way into here. And I have a little more of an advantage with that than I do this one, because he's farther committed than he is when I just do this. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and look at the sequence of Tai Chi moving for better balance that we would use in dealing with seniors, okay? Now, we're trying to overcome people who are like this, who've lost the strength in their legs. They're going along in that fashion, okay? So what we have to do, we have to strengthen the ankles. They have to overcome the fear, but these have become very weak, okay? Now, in order to do this, we're going to start with something that looks like something we did before, but it isn't. Remember, in the trip fall, you went out here and came back. Now, I didn't step back. I'm using the momentum of my upper body to do that. So that's not going to strengthen my ankles. But on the other hand, if I came out like this, well, let me start from the very beginning on that one. I start off, I'm standing like this, I'm relaxed. There's a interesting concept. They say, pretend like there's a thread that's holding you up. So you're suspended here, okay? So I'm here, okay? I step out and relax, okay? And then I reach out to here, and I come back. I'm out here, and I'm going to actually pull myself back. Okay. Here, and I'm going to pull myself back. When I get to here, I'm going to swing the arms this way and actually trigger my muscle system going back. That was pretty far back. So now I'm pulling this way and that way. Okay, so I'm beginning to work on ankle strength. Okay, so once I've come back to here and back to here, okay, then I go into the form that we're used to. Hold the ball, right? Preload. I step over, hold the ball, preload, and I come back. Okay. Now, the first one we do in this new sequence, fortunately, looks like a number one. How cool is that? we step out and parting the wild horse's mane. That's a number one that just leaned over. We're here, preload. Parting the wild horse's mane, number one. Okay. Hold, preload. Wouldn't it be cool if the next one looked like a 2? And it does. They call it hook. And I come out like that. Now, if you look at a number 2, now I usually draw it this way, but if you start at the bottom, that's what you've got. 2, hold, preload. 2, hold, preload. Now, you wouldn't believe it. The next one's going to look like a 3. 1, right, 2, 3. Now, hold, preload. 1, 2, 3. They say, look at the hand and then look out at the room, okay? Well, you can almost take that literally, okay? Because when you're doing this, as you recall from the safety training, you are following your training partner as you go down halls or through groups. You are looking at the hand, but it's probably not your hand. It's whatever hand is out there that you have to get past. Okay, and you look out at the room, and that's where that next hand I have to deal with. Okay. So it's not just waving hands like clouds. Okay, so that's 3. Now, what does a 4 look like? 4 goes like that, right? And then there's a side on it. Okay? Well, once I finish waving hands and I come back to the other side, 3, I put this one out, and I step back. I just repulsed a monkey, right? However, I get to here, and I repulse another one back this way, and I have created a 4. How cool is that? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we need a 5, right? And the next thing is brush knee, and I step out, and what do? I do this and that. Well, if you look at that, that's the bottom of a 5, So I'm here, okay, hold, here, and here. Are you going to believe that 6 is going to be that easy? Well, when you look at it, remember, fair maiden works the shuttle, okay? And to do that, you come around to here and come up to that. Now, if that doesn't look like a 6, you come over to here, and then you do the same thing that way, and there's your 6, okay? Now, the last one is got to be 7, right? I'm here, preload. Now, it starts with a gesture called fend off, and you come out like that. Now you'll see people just putting the hand out, but this is actually a very powerful strike. This is called the goose's head, right here. Now, the goose's head is a striking weapon. Now, when you turn your hand this way, you have all these bones right there, and when you press them, they just go together, and they become very strong and powerful. Unlike the human fist, which pressure will cause it to break and get dislocated. For a human fist to hit something, you've got to tape it up and fix it up and hold it together. The goose's head is something else. So you fend off, you come back. Now, you've already struck once, right? You come back here. Now here comes this. Now, you hit here, so they see this, they're going to go raise their guard. But you come up to here and you go right there, go right under it. Then you come back to here, okay? Now, you come back to here, drop down, and push. Now, if you notice that, when I come to here, there's a 7, right? There's a 7, huh? And then I come here and I do one in the air. 7, okay? Hold and haul, preload, fend off, come back, pivot and push, 7 in the air, like that. Now, the metaphor for this is grasping the peacock's tail. And I've never been able to relate to that. I just can't see myself grasping the peacock's tail or anyone doing it, okay? And when I practiced this in the past, another metaphor was used, which really is very informative. You're right here, and you remember when I came back like this? Okay. This is engaging the full force of what's out there, huh? The overwhelming force. I'm taking it right there now. So to create a metaphor, I would have something that is just overwhelming and deadly, and I'm going to move back away from it. Now, when I come back this way, I need to be able to overcome that huge force and move it out of the way. Now, what would those be? Well, the ones that I was taught, and I thought they made a lot of sense. This is called hold the tiger. Now, if there's a tiger coming, this is what you want to do, okay? The tiger is here. You want to back up, and the tiger is completely off balance, huh? And he's going to pull back on his own. That's the only way you're going to deal with him and get him away from you. So you back up far enough, and then the next one is lift the mountain. Well, lifting the mountain, that's something. I'm here, and I lift. Of course, that's the tiger pulling back to save himself. So, hold the tiger, lift the mountain, okay? And then I come around and do it to the other side. Those are 7s, right? Now, all we need is an 8, right? And what is an 8? It's 2 big circles, 2 big zeros, okay? Now, when I've finished coming to here, I simply swing around to this position, and then I push out. That's a big circle. That's a pretty big one. And then I come back to here, and I push out this way. So I have 2 horizontal giant circles, and I'm going to call those, that's going to be the 8. And at that point, I can come back here, and I can simply relax. Okay? So I've come all the way through the sequence using our ordinary numbers so that everybody knows what comes next. You don't have to try to juggle a turkey and whatever. Now, let's take a look at these, and we'll start moving through them. And Chris can do what I'm doing. And if he has a question, of course, he'll ask me. And we'll see how that sequencing works, okay? So I'm here. I'm going to step out, okay? Relax. Very important. I reach out to here, and then I pull back. And when I pull back, I go clear to the rear, and I have to stabilize myself back here, okay? Then I'm going to hold the ball here, preload, come over to here, hold the ball, preload, and come back to here. There's my zeros. We need a 1, parting the wild horse's mane. Now, at this point, I'm supposed to step out. Okay. I step out, come to here, there's my 1, preload, step out. Now, when I can have this one way back here, there, okay. Now, I hook, and I come over. There's my 2. I come back to here, I hook, I come over. There's the 2. Next, of course, is the 3. Focus on the hand, look out at the room, look back at the hand, okay? Preload. Focus on the hand, look out at the room, focus on the hand, okay? Now, the monkey, here comes the monkey. I step back, okay? And I step back. And then, that was a 4. Here comes the 5. 1, preload. And here's a 5. Preload. My 6 is going to rise right up to here. Hold, preload. My 6 is going to ride right up to there. Hold, preload. I'm going to fend off. I'm going to come back. I'm going to pivot and push. And that was a 7. And here is the next one. Okay. Then I come to here. I fend off. I come back. Here's a 7. I come back, drop down another one. I come up to here. I swing around, and stretch out. There's the bottom of the 8. I come back to here and stretch out this way. Here's the rest of my 8. And then I come down and relax. And there's all 8 forms in a sequence that we use with a number code so that the teacher knows what's coming next, the students know what's coming next. And anytime you try to instruct people when they're behind you, that's a real challenge. We have a mirror, and that makes life a lot easier. But many, many Tai Chi classes, and I've taught them since 2009, and this is the only one I have a mirror in, so I'm just hoping for the best back there. I really like the change of metaphors because I can picture a tiger. And I get back, and at that point he's recovering and I can lift the mountain. And tigers and mountains really represent the levels of force that we're dealing with. They're both deadly and overwhelming. Okay? So that is the sequence that we're going through today, and that will be the one that we will practice over and over. I'd like for you to go through that and be ready, and the next time we meet, I'm going to also bring health effects and other items. I'll have printed out for you on the website the directions to get both of the books we've talked about. Okay? And you can begin to look at the research. But at the moment, I think the main thing is for you to practice what the seniors need, and that's going to be achieving the stability that these movements create and build the strength in the ankles and the stability of moving in these directions that really Tai Chi does so beautifully, and that if you simply sit in a chair or lift or stretch, you're not going to get that, okay? So, well, thank you very much. I think we've had a good lesson. It's something we both can practice, and next time I'll have the health effects and some other things for you, and we will just come in and practice just as though we're doing a lesson of the class, okay? And in the meantime, if you have questions about specific health effects, I can also bring you lists of health defects that have been overcome by classes that do this, and that's always encouraging. Okay? Well, thank you very much, and I will see you next time.